Citi Field in New York. The New York Mets play the Philadelphia Phillies. Tuesday night baseball is presented by Verizon. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Verizon, the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network in America. By the State Farm agent of the game, John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. By New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks. Visit them at mynycb.com. And by MTA Bridges and Tunnels, cashless tolling is here. Get Easy Pass today to save up to 50% on tolls. Well, New York is resplendent. Lots of sports going on in the neighborhood. The U.S. Open across the street. Met fans hanging out near the Apple, getting ready for some baseball tonight. Perfect time to bring the kids to see our kids as the Mets move toward the end of the season with a youthful lineup and trying to get their fans ready for next year. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the middle game of their three-game series against the Phillies. The Mets lineup has changed measurably over the last couple of months, and what it's done is create opportunities for younger players, particularly in the outfield, where Juan Lagares and Brandon Nimmo are now getting a chance to play every day, and lately they've made some strides.
Well, Lagares right now has got his average up to 263, and Juan is a guy that brings a lot of energy. We know all about his Gold Glove. He has been hitting the ball well. He's been sparking the offense, and he provides something that the Mets haven't had a lot of all season long, and that is speed at the top. He's able to go first to third, and we know about his defense. If he can hit 263, he can play center field on my team. And in Brandon Nimmo, the other guy, 3 hits yesterday. He's up to 270 plus right now, and he's been a tremendous player off the bench and getting a chance to play. It is September. He's showing what he's got. All opportunities here for these guys, and they're making the most of it.
And they're both in the lineup again tonight behind Jacob deGrom, who takes his second try at a career-high 15th win.
Well, in a season that every night you were supposed to be able to watch a power arm, it's really Jake deGrom who's had the ability to come with it and bring it every fifth day. An outstanding year. He set his strikeout record in last start. He's one of the few Mets with Seaver and Cone and Gooden to have multiple 200K seasons. Looking for that 15th win tonight. Heck, he's won about 25% of the Mets wins this year.
10 career starts against the Phillies. The Mets have won every time. deGrom and the Mets try and keep that going tonight. Mets and Phillies, all the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. sign over the bullpen in the bottom of the fourth, you could win $50,000. If it's not hit, you still have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just go to sny.tv/New York Lottery to enter for your chance to win, presented by the New York Lottery. RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Your breakout MLB season is here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at rbigame.com. This date in baseball history presented by Empire City Casino, September 5th, 1969. Tom Seaver got his 20th win. First Met to win 20. He would win 25 that year and lead his Mets to a World Series championship. Sportsman of the Year. He was the franchise.
Tom Terrific.
That outflanks Sportsman of the Year.
Wow.
The franchise. Number 41. Mets and Phils. Mets try to make it 2 straight. First pitch is coming right up. For Jacob deGrom, a.k.a. the last man standing. He's had himself a marvelous year, trying to bounce back from a so-so performance his last time out in Cincinnati. Here's the Hyundai starting lineup he'll face, including the major league debut for J.P. Crawford, a shortstop, but playing third base in his big league debut. Played a half-dozen games there in the minors before his call-up. Odubel Herrera back in the lineup as well after missing 3 weeks with a hamstring injury.
Land Rover numbers for Jacob deGrom. He won 14 games in 2015. This will be the first time he can get the 15 wins. If he does tonight, it'll be his 45th in his career.
Cesar Hernandez leads off, 1 for 4 yesterday. First pitch by deGrom. Hernandez bunts at it, did not offer, and it's ball 1. Hernandez hitting .285, .359 on base percentage. Second straight terrific year at the top of the Phillies batting order. And deGrom misses down with a slider, 2-0. The Phillies infield is in a state of flux now with the promotion today of J.P. Crawford, who was a shortstop by trade but played a handful of games at second and third before his call up. The Phillies have a stated mission of having Freddie Galvis play all 162 games this year as Galvis on deck. So there's a bit of a logjam now on the Phillies infield. Late swing, 2-2.
And do they give a reason for that?
Some guys like to play 162.
Oh, I never did that. I did 161 one year. That's right, Al.
I think John Olerud played 162 for the Mets.
Cal Ripken played 162.
Well, a few years, yeah. 3-2 coming. Hernandez bouncing back. Yeah, Lou Gehrig, 154.
That's right.
DeGrom on Thursday in Cincinnati. 6 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned, 6 hits, 3 walks. Definitely wasn't sharp in that game. A 7-2 Mets loss in the last game they played there. And Hernandez takes strike 3 called. He thought it was inside. 97. Greg Gibson called it on the inside corner. Strikeout starts the night.
Well, he missed the pitch on 2-2. If we see this the overhead, you can see it's inside.
Oh,
Not
Lord
even
have
close.
mercy. That's not a good. That's muy malo.
That might make the top 10 next year.
So Gibson's 0 for 1. He's got DeJesus, Holbrook, the crew chief, and Rayburn with him. DeGrom will take it. A strikeout to start his night. And now Freddie Galvis. And he takes a slider for a strike. Galvis 1 for 4 yesterday. Drove in a run in the Mets' 11-7 Labor Day win over the Phillies.
Well, there's one thing that Philadelphia has going in their favor offensively. They got speed at the top. Hernandez has 14 stolen pillows. Galvis has 13 pillows.
I think that's a new one too. Stolen pillows. He's reaching deep into the bag of tricks, and it's only the top of the first. There's one of those pillows. One-two from DeGrom, and Galvis with the defensive hack fouls it into the ground. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball for DeGrom.
Well, DeGrom has always had his way with the Phillies and never lost to him. 6-0. ERA a shade over 2.
One-two coming. Backdoors him. Strike 3 call. Slider on the outside edge. Back-to-back strikeouts for DeGrom to start the night.
Well, let's take a peek. That's too close to take.
Darno is sitting way off the plate. If Gibson is going to give him that pitch, it's going to be a big night for DeGrom.
I'm always the last to know. Lexus infield defense of the Mets. Oh, this is different.
Spit it out.
Smith, Cicchini, Reyes.
Had you been watching
Cabrera.
yesterday, Keith?
I did not watch yesterday. In the outfield, look at Juan, Gold. You got the gold, Juan, in center. You earned it.
Here's a double Herrera, who extended his hitting streak to 18 straight games with a pinch hitting assignment in the 9th inning last night. Herrera with the 18-game hitting streak, the longest by a Philly since Raul Ibanez in 2010. Up to 289 for the year. And that fastball runs in on him and made him look bad, and that's 0-2.
Well, that's how you dial it up. Left-handed hitters cannot handle that pitch. Belt high, inside, 97.
Oh, he tied him up inside, that's for sure. If Herrera goes the other way, you got to pound him in.
Two. Struck him out. What a start for Jacob deGrom. He strikes out the side in the opening inning. hits yesterday, so Terry Collins rolls out the same starting 8 as he used yesterday. Jose Reyes red hot right now. On base 4 times yesterday, including a home run. He's got a 10-game hitting streak running as he faces rookie right-hander Ben Lively.
Well, don't be confused by the 2-5 record. He's had some real good starts. 7 of his 10 have been quality.
Pop up to short. Galvis has it 1 away, and one of those quality starts was against the Mets back in June.
And the Coors Light starting infield for your fighting Phils, and that's J.P. Crawford, his major league debut. You can read that, folks, at home. And in the outfield, Hyun Soo Kim. He's a new one. He just came over. Nick Williams and right.
You had 3 choices there, Herrera and Williams, and he chose Kim.
Of course.
I just want to make it clear, Keith, the folks can read the whole thing. So if that's your template, you don't really have to say anything.
Precisely. There he is.
Nori Aoki hitting second in the order, and he drives one to left center field. Hoskins won't get it. That goes up the gap and all the way to the wall. Aoki on his way to second, and he pulls in Standing with a 1-out double. So Nori Aoki is off to a very hot start as a Met. His 6th hit in just 15 at bats.
6th hit and 3rd double.
Well, he likes to hit that ball to left field. A very level swing on that high pitch. Drives it into the gap.
So Aoki aboard with 1 out, and here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who hit a 2-run homer yesterday. His 12th of the year. This is a rematch tonight for Lively and deGrom, as that one caught the catcher Jorge Alfaro, and it comes up shaking his hand.
They crossed him up. He was supposed to throw him breaking ball. He threw a fastball, and it caught Alfaro right on the thumb. They're trying to go over it now. 2 young players. As I always say, someone messed up. 99% of the time, it's the pitcher.
Oh, you're going to kill me. Okay.
Well, they're taking an inordinate amount of time here trying to figure this out.
He must really be hurting, trying to squeeze the baseball to get some feelings in his hands. You hear see the umpire Greg Gibson coming out. He should give him as much time as he can. I mean, not a lot of movement there from the training staff. This is a prize prospect, this Alfaro.
I like it.
Burr lifts one out to left, and Kim has it measured. Aoki back to second, 2 out. So 2 away. Aoki still at second, and now Travis d'Arnaud. I misspoke before I said Terry ran out the same starting 8. He had Plawecki catching yesterday.
Sorry.
d'Arnaud today. Otherwise, it's the same group. Anyway, Travis hitting cleanup for the 2nd time in less than a week.
You wouldn't have made that mistake 5 years ago.
You saying that my brain cells are slipping? Just because you can't squeeze your left hand today.
I know, my wrist.
It's just the aging process.
It is.
Time called for by the catcher Alfaro, which caused his pitcher to break off his motion.
Greg Gibson looked like me with my brothers when I was a kid. It's him, but his fault, not mine. I didn't do anything.
Here's a measure of how the Mets have changed in the last few months. Ben Lively faced the Mets June 30th. He went 6 1/3 innings, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits. There are only 2 players who faced him who were in the lineup today. And that would be Reyes and Cabrera. Lively pitched really well in that game, matched up against deGrom, and it was a real pitcher's duel. deGrom won it 2-1. Lively shortly thereafter got sent down for a month and a half. He's made 3 starts since coming back.
He's a real drop and drive kind of guy. For a big guy, he gets down low, uses his legs very well.
Good slider right there.
Motion I was talking about. Now, he's a tall guy, and he gets down low, really follows through that back shoulder. That's why he has such a good slider. Really rips it through.
2-2 to d'Arnaud. Ben Lively, 25 years old. University of Central Florida. Originally drafted by the Reds, traded to the Phillies for Marlon Byrd. Sliced down the right field side, headed toward the wall. Williams back on the track, and it short hops the fence. That brings Aoki in with the first run. d'Arnaud slides in with a 2-out double, and the Mets have an early 1-0 lead.
Well, that was just a high fly ball, but they're playing d'Arnaud way off the line here, or else Williams just got a terrible jump. Boy, you're a pitcher here. You got to think it's an F9. I'm out of the inning. Didn't get there.
Well, Williams was not a burner, but he was also well over in right center.
Yep, that's the shifts.
So 2 doubles in the inning produce a run, and now Brandon Nimmo, who over the last 3 games has been on base 10 times in 13 tries. And takes a curveball for a strike.
The big strike zone today from Mr. Gibson.
What did Frank Pulley used to tell you guys?
He used to say, well, I don't get paid for overtime. Swing the bats. You're warned.
Greg Gibson in Frank Pulley mode today. All he's got to do is use that punching motion to call strikes, and he'd be Frank's clone.
The right hand of Frank, right cross.
Right. Frank would call strikes almost before the ball crossed the plate.
That's right.
He was the quickest right hand in the business.
He was a very, very, very good umpire.
d'Arnaud at second with 2 out, and Nimmo takes up and in. Brandon's on base percentage up to .407. He's reached base at least 3 times in each of the last 3 games. First Mets rookie to do that since Kaz Matsui in 2004. And the fastball in there, strike 3 called. Big strike zone works for both sides. Lively has his first strikeout, but the Mets cash a run on d'Arnaud's double, 1-0 New York. run phenom in baseball. Aaron Judge, Clay Bellinger, and then Rhys Hoskins. 11 home runs in his first 18 big league games. Nobody in the history of the game had ever done that before. And the Phillies youngster, who has struggled against the Mets, has crushed everybody else. He's 1 for 16 against Mets pitching, hitting .361 against the rest of the league. 0 for 3 yesterday, and he hits deGrom's first pitch foul.
He made his debut against the Mets in that 4-game series in Philadelphia and couldn't buy a hit. Boy, we kind of felt for him. He was really struggling. Finally got one, a little soft liner to right field over the head of Dominic Smith to get his first major league hit.
deGrom struck out the side in the first inning. Second time he's done that this year. The 5th time in his career he's fanned the side in the first. And he misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And this is reminiscent of his start 2 starts ago when he was throwing 97 to 99 with regularity.
Yeah, his last strikeout of Herrera was 99.
And Hoskins takes a slider for a strike, 1 and 2. And Greg Gibson has served notice. You put it near the plate, it's going to be a strike tonight. Do you think hitters are quick to recognize
No,
that?
I have not seen. No, I have not seen that, Gary.
Hoskins laces one into center field, and he has the Phillies' first hit of the night.
Nice 2-strike hitting right there. Those are things you look at in young hitters. What are these behind the count 1 and 2 off a probably going to be a 15, 16, or 17 game winner.
Hoskins laces one into center field.
You see the grimace on deGrom's face. He knew he made a mistake. Ball up in the zone, down the middle.
What I like about this was he was 1 and 2, and he didn't get caught looking on a fastball. You know, not guessing.
So a leadoff base runner for the Phillies, and now Nick Williams, who made his major league debut against Jacob deGrom back in June and got his first big league hit against Jake. Williams 1 for 4 yesterday. He's had a very nice beginning to his career. A little over 200 at bats, hitting .271, 8 home runs, 35 driven in.
Big open crouched stance.
Slap to short. Reyes on the backhand, gets up, fires, and gets the force. Nicely done by Reyes to get the first out.
Very nice backhand here by Jose. Well done. Seen that more than our share of times over the years.
Ahmed Rosario out for a second straight day with a bruised finger, giving Reyes a chance to play his favorite position. So 1 out and 1 on. Here's Hyun-Soo Kim. 2 hits yesterday, including a double and 2 RBIs. Came over from the Orioles in the Jeremy Hellickson trade right before the deadline this year. Phillies got Odubel Herrera back in the starting lineup today. Aaron Altair is still a few days away, coming back from a hamstring injury, so Kim getting some playing time. And a knee-high strike with a changeup, 1-1. Very short lead for Williams. He's not a base stealer. And the pitch away, 2-1. deGrom 10 career starts against the Phillies, 6-0, 2.1 ERA, and the Mets are 10-0 in those starts. Did you have a team like that?
The Cincinnati Reds I was pretty good against. The Atlanta Braves I was very good because they weren't a very good team for a long time.
That's always very helpful.
Yes.
Well, helpful part of the equation.
I disagree with you. They were not a good team, but they had Claudell Washington in that lineup. They had Bob Horner, Dale Murphy.
Yeah, they did have some bats.
They had some bats. Rafael Ramirez was the, you know, got to be careful with him.
They had enough guys that you could kind of pitch around, though. You know, they had
Horner was a tough. He was the one guy that was the clutch hitter for them.
They had Biff Pocoroba.
Oh. rolling office for a while too. That was rough.
Well, barely look. Ronnie 13-3 in his career against the Braves.
Okay, good. My memory's still working. That's good to know. Bob Horner, part of that 4 home run club,
which claimed a new member yesterday. J.D. Martinez.
The 18th, correct?
18th to do it. Only the second time it's been done twice in 1 year.
Off of 4 different pitchers. 4 separate pitchers.
Well, it's September.
That had only been done once of the 18. Joe Adcock. And I found that funny because in those days you'd think the starting pitcher would have went, you know, you wouldn't have faced 4 different pitchers.
But Scooter Gennett did it earlier this year. Now J.D. Martinez last night. The only other year where there were 2 was 2002 when Mike Cameron and Sean Green both had 4 home run games.
Green had that total bases deal in Milwaukee. That was the big day for him.
Green had 19 total bases, right, which I think is still the record. That's hit hard between Cabrera and the line. And a base hit for Kim puts 2 men aboard. And it will bring up J.P. Crawford for his first big league at bat.
Went right with it there. Belt high.
The ball pretty hard in this inning. Williams hit the ball in the nose.
So here is 22-year-old J.P. Crawford, just called up today. See his numbers in AAA, not good. He got off to a horrible start this year, but finished strong the second half of the year. Crawford, who went to the same high school as Travis d'Arnaud a few years later. Also grew up playing with Dominic Smith. They were on the same youth ball teams in the Urban Youth Academy from about age 12 on. So they're very good friends.
You've been given a full scholarship to USC, University of Southern California, but first round pick of the Phillies.
And they rave about his selectivity at the plate. And it's one of the reasons why, with a .243 average, he had a .351 on base percentage in AAA this year.
Led the International League with 79 walks.
Grounds one down to first as Buddy Smith comes up with a terrible throw, though, when it goes into left field. That'll allow Williams to score and tie the game. So Dominic Smith making a nice pick against his old friend J.P. Crawford, but just an awful throw.
Well, he just didn't get his. He tried to throw on the run here. He didn't gather himself. Nice play on the in between hop. And I know what he had in mind there. He had the runner he had to negotiate with. And he clears himself of the runner. And he just made a poor throw. That's all.
So it's an error. No RBI. And the game is tied at 1.
It's an interesting play because after that, Kim was thinking of going to third base on the bad throw, but he and Reyes got tangled up a little bit.
For Smith, his first major league error. And now here's the number 8 hitter, Jorge Alfaro, who's hit very well in his brief big league trial this year. 53 at bats. He's hitting .340 after hitting just .241 in AAA.
Watch this. After Cameron got to second base, he wants to go to third, and Reyes was in the way. The umpire pointed at both that contact was made, but decided Kim was not going to go to third, I guess.
Wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, no obstruction because there's no way he would have made it.
Yeah.
Alfaro slices one foul, 0-2. Alfaro part of the haul that the Phillies pulled in when they traded Cole Hamels. They got Nick Williams in that same deal 2 summers ago.
Alec Asher, who we've seen this year, Jared Eichhoff, Jake Thompson. Matt Harrison was kind of a throw-in because his back was an issue even when he came to the Phillies. Not many players from Colombia.
Dilson Herrera comes to mind. Edgar Renteria.
Alfaro has a brother who's a catcher also in the Chicago White Sox system.
Two hits and an error here for the Phillies in the second. And now deGrom trying to work through the 8 and 9 hitters. Ahead on Alfaro, 0-2. And the breaking ball fouled off.
It was a little bigger slider, maybe even a curveball. When you throw a curveball, a breaking pitch, and it's 6 to 8 inches outside and the hitter fouls it off, he is telling you that he is vulnerable inside. You cannot cover that pitch and be able to cover the pitch inside too. And I'm talking about cheddar inside.
A bit of a long swing, Alfaro. Big, strong kid.
You know, you talk about setting up hitters, right? He reaches for the pitch away, so he's vulnerable inside. But do hitters ever make that adjustment? Say, okay, I did that, so he's going to come inside. I'm going to be ready for that.
You got to be careful with the veterans that know you, that faced you a lot. I think when you're a young hitter, although things may have changed today with all the, you know, the charts and everything that they have, and they seem to be guess a little more today.
Arno sets up away, and the pitch is outside.
Here's an example. I'm pitching against Philadelphia, whatever year it was. Bo Diaz was their catcher. I threw a pitch similar, breaking ball away. He fouled it off. I went to throw the next pitch inside. As soon as I was about to deliver it, he backed 3 steps or 1 foot off the plate and looked in. Took me bridge.
He did.
Yes.
Bo Diaz?
Yes.
He was a little sneaky little thing, wasn't he? He knew what he was doing up there, Bo. Making deGrom work here. Bo Diaz pulled one on me one time. We're in Philly. I was playing way off in the hole. Got in the box, right-hand hitter. He looked at me. He inside-outed, pitch right down the right field line. I never played him over in the hole ever again because he had that ability to do that. So I could not give him that line anymore.
Bo Diaz, who passed away a few years ago.
He was a good guy. I liked him.
Long turn at bat for Alfaro. This will be pitch number 8 from deGrom. And a slow comebacker. deGrom's only plays at first, and he gets the second out. And the runners move up. Kim to third, Crawford to second. And now deGrom needs to get through the pitcher, and that's not automatic because Lively not only has a home run this year, but in his last start in Miami in a 3-2 win, he drove in 2 of the 3 runs.
It's the first rookie pitcher for the Phillies to hit a home run since Tyler Green in 1995.
So a big out for deGrom to get after the Phillies tied it on an error here in the second. Five pitches deep in this inning. deGrom falls behind the opposing pitcher 2-0.
Everything came so easily in the first inning for deGrom, and having a hard time with his location this inning.
He had a little help in that first inning from a large strike zone, but now he's missing badly. Two in scoring position with 2 out. And Lively cracks one up the middle for a base hit. Kim is in. Crawford racing home. The throw by Lagares to the plate, not in time. Ben Lively, who drove in 2 runs in his last start, drives in 2 more, and the Phillies have a 3-1 lead.
Wow. He's also hit a home run.
6 RBIs in his first 18 major league at bats.
Wow. Right up the middle, fastball. Throw a little offline, it wouldn't have mattered.
So Crawford scores his first big league run. Here's Cesar Hernandez. 3 runs in, all unearned against deGrom. That'll be no solace as he finds himself behind against a team he's never lost to. Hernandez went down looking his first time up. He fouls off the changeup, 1-1.
See how tight he makes the turn here. Very tight. Good lead at second base and really cut that corner nicely.
He is not a burner. Has slightly above average speed.
You can be a good base runner, though. You don't have to be a burner. What was interesting is we get such a great view of any throw from Lagares, and he always has a 10-foot slice on his ball. He starts to the right of Darno. It'll cut back a little bit, and it never did. It stayed true.
To Hernandez. Here's that Lively hit.
Inside inner half, belt high. Give the hitter credit here. He flew those hips open, stayed level on that pitch.
Strike 3 called. Hernandez called out for the second time, but a damaging inning for deGrom. 3 unearned runs, and the Phillies lead 3-1.
Tears in my eyes, not just a tear, tears. They don't really realize the moment until everybody came out here, and I thought it was very nice that we had all touched home plate, and Seaver going out there and throwing out the last pitch, I guess, not the first pitch, the last pitch at Shea. It just brought a lump to my throat, and it just brought back a flood of wonderful memories here.
What a sad day that was.
Well said, my man. Well said.
I just couldn't spit it out. It was not articulated well, that's for sure, but the point was made.
I mean, you remember what happened that day, right? It wasn't just that it was the last game at Shea, but it was also the culmination of the second collapse in 2 years.
That's right.
And then the closing down of the ballpark, and there was just so much emotion involved.
I mean, considering what happened in the game and then everyone sticking around, it was just crazy.
And everybody came back. It was special. Here's Juan Lagares leading off in the home second when the Mets down by 2. And it must have been incredible to be down on the field for that last game.
A funny little aside for people who wouldn't know is Keith and I were rushed out of the booth after the game. We were put in the elevator and rushed down. And when we get on the elevator, the police officers were there. They were arresting 2 people that had run on the field.
Right.
So they had their arm around us. They were trying to take pictures. Guys who were just getting arrested before Keith and I went on the field.
Lagares drives one to left, and that ball's going to go back to the wall.
And a baby one.
So Lagares, who's been working on pulling the ball a little bit more, pulls a double, and the Mets have their 3rd double, the first 6 batters against Ben Lively.
Fastball in, and he does get the barrel out there. Very nicely done.
No, just thinking, you said that a baby, Juan. That's exactly what you would have said 30 years ago on the bench when someone led off the inning with a hit, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So Lagares now has a 6-game hitting streak, and here's Dominic Smith, whose first big league error led to 3 unearned runs in the top of the inning. Dom 0 for 4 in the first game of the series yesterday, hitting at 190 through his first 84 big league at bats. And Lively pumps the fastball in for a strike. In the air, deep left field, Kim going back. Staggering and makes the catch. Tagging at second, Lagares. He's going to try and move up, and he arrives safely. And it was not easy for Hyun-Soo Kim, who is not fleet of foot, but somehow found his way back to the edge of the warning track to make that catch.
Well, nice base running by Juan. And you know, you got to be halfway on this ball until you realize, not quite halfway, until you realize the left fielder is going to catch it. And you go back and tag. His momentum was carrying him back to the fence. Let's see what Juan does. Perfect. Now he said, okay, he's going to catch it. I'm going to tag. Very well done. Well done.
And now Gavin Cecchini will try and get the run in.
Kim's used to watching that go in the stands when he's at Camden Yards.
Good point. Ball's about 10 rows deep. Cecchini drove in 2 runs yesterday. Goes after a slider, and it's 0-2. Infield back for the Phillies with a 2-run lead. Off that one. Jacob deGrom on deck. Cecchini starting for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. Rosario out, and Flores still out with a broken nose, giving Gavin a chance for some more reps. And Cecchini pulls one foul, might have broken his bat.
I think it survived.
Checking it out.
It survived. Didn't sound like a break.
Of our little inset shot there to show where the infield is.
Let our folks know.
Cecchini flies one down the right side, headed toward the stands, and out of play. Lagares a leadoff double, hustled to third on a fly ball, and now Cecchini trying to get him in. Facing Ben Lively, the 142nd consecutive game for the Phillies that they've had a right-handed pitcher start the game. That covers all of this season and the last few days of last season. Up and in, and Cicchini had to vacate. 2-2.
Well, my first thought is maybe the last one was Cole Hamels, but it probably was Adam Morgan. Whew. Well, hey, it's part of the job.
It was Adam Morgan, who's actually been pitching really well lately out of the Phillies bullpen.
He recently had a save of 3 innings pitched out of the pen.
Adam Morgan was most famously one of the prime victim when the Mets had their 8 home run game 2 years ago in Philadelphia. And Cicchini's worked his way back from 0-2 to 3-2. Ben Lively, who grew up on the beach in Pensacola. It's fouled away. Lively's dad is a charter fishing boat captain.
Okay.
And in fact, Ben went for his captain's license too, so we could call him Captain Ben Lively.
Nice.
That's like an old sailor name, Captain Ben Lively.
That's right, Captain Ben.
Like an old Robert Louis Stevenson story.
Jack London or something. Yeah.
Ninth pitch of the at bat coming to Cicchini, and he struck him out with a curveball. So Lively gets the strikeout he needed, his second of the night.
Chased a slider here, a little off the plate, tough one to lay off. Actually, that might have been a strike. Watch the head drop here on his swing. It's almost like he's golfing. That's called looking the ball back deep, I guess. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
And deGrom winds one to the shortstop, and Galvis able to snare it to end the inning. So deGrom hit it hard, but Galvis in the right spot, and the Mets are turned aside in the second. Still 3-1 Philly. SNY is brought to you by Budweiser. Look for the Budweiser team at Citi Field this season for your chance to win the Budweiser Fan of the Game and win unique prizes just like these lucky winners. Must be 21 and over. This Sunday, September 10th, is a McDonald's Family Sunday. The Mets take on the Reds at 1:10 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Mets fidget spinner presented by P.C. Richard & Son. Plus, all kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game in the Mr. Met Dash, courtesy of Northwell Health. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays.
Raised in Catholic schools, taking Latin. I'm looking at the word. I mean, does that mean it's more applicable to people that are fidgety? The fidget spinner?
Well, let's just say that it dissipates the nervous energy that you might expend in a different way. Some people are thumb twirlers.
Okay, yeah.
Some people are foot tappers.
You tap your foot in the open, you know. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. To get the beat. The rhythm.
Oh, when the music's playing.
Yeah. No, when you maybe that's it, but when you do the open, you tap your foot. So maybe it's like to get the rhythm over.
Is that distracting to you?
No, I was just looking at it one day. I was thinking of my three sons.
Oh, very nice. Stanley Livingston. Barry Livingstone. Fred McMurray.
That's right.
Fred McMurray with the V-neck sweater.
Do 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 do. Fouled back by Galvis, 3-2. Galvis struck out looking his first time up. You know there was a fourth son, right?
Yes.
There was a son who was there in the first season.
Yes.
And then he left, and then they got Ernie.
One of the older ones.
Yeah.
Right.
And they adopted Ernie.
Right. Ernie with the glasses and the freckles.
Hit sharply toward the middle and a base hit for Galvis to start the third. It was the fourth Philadelphia hit against deGrom.
Well, interesting. Since the first inning, a lot of deep counts and 3-2 counts for deGrom, so he's had to come into the hitters a little bit.
Sometimes striking out the side in the first inning is a precursor to what's to come, and sometimes it goes very differently.
Right.
I mean, we've seen deGrom strike out the side in the first inning and then strike out the side in the second inning and then strike out the first two guys in the third.
We did see that.
Here's Herrera, who struck out his first time up. Galvis at first, 13 stolen bases this year. Herrera is a real lightning rod type player for the Phillies. Very talented. Phillies are committed to him long term, but he's one of those guys who sometimes can drive you crazy. Misadventures on the base path.
Yes.
Strange routes in the outfield.
Just an unpredictable player in every aspect of his game. Up at the plate, he can look like he's never had a bat in his hands his entire life. And then another time he can look like, well, I won't say Ted Williams.
No, we'll wrap you around the foul pole.
Right. He's just a unbridled ball player.
Well, Pete Buchanan has benched him on a couple of different occasions to try and increase his attentiveness, and it seems to have worked at times. But he certainly is unpredictable. But immensely talented.
Well, he made that horrific base running play in the 4-game series. I forget which game in Philly last series. Back runner that forced the runner out in front of him.
Yeah, he was on second, and the runner at third didn't tag, but he took off for third.
Right. He just assumed he tagged running. He overran the bag.
Well, he would drive me nuts as a pitcher just because of how long it takes him to get in the box.
Well, how about yesterday, him against Hansel Robles? It was like paint dry versus grass growing. Struck him out with a high fastball, and deGrom has his 5th strikeout as he gets Herrera for the 2nd time.
Same pitch, fastball up.
So Herrera retired, 1 out and 1 on. Here's Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins singled to center field to get the 3-run second inning started for the Phillies. Only his second hit in 17 at bats against Met pitching, whereas he's worn everybody else out. Your Spectrum high-speed pitch. DeGrom has 99 on the ledger. Stays inside, 2-0. Here goes Galvis, the throw by d'Arnaud, and he got him.
Yeah, not a good slide.
Cicchini puts on the tag. Galvis caught stealing for the 4th time this year, and they're at 2 out.
Nice throw by d'Arnaud, but a good pitch to change up to steal on. A good pitch. d'Arnaud gets rid of it quick. Look at the slide. Well, it's not that bad. It's out by a mile.
So Plawecki make a couple of terrific throws yesterday, and now d'Arnaud with a good throw. So Galvis caught stealing, 2 out and nobody on, and Hoskins takes below the knees, 3-1. Remember when Davey Lopes was the Phillies' first base coach?
Yes.
And they never got caught stealing?
That's right. Davey Lopes is a tremendous player, tremendous base stealer, tremendous hitter, gamer, and he's turned out to be a great teacher.
Well, I remember when he was with the Cubs, and I want to say 85. He was 40 years old, and he stole 46 or 47 bases.
Yep. And he wasn't playing every day.
Yeah.
Hoskins draws a walk. First one given up by DeGrom tonight. Hoskins walked twice yesterday, and so he's been on base twice tonight. Let's look at tonight's Verizon trivia question. 18 players have hit 4 home runs in a game. We mentioned that earlier. Name the 5 that at one time played for the Mets. Well, we've already mentioned 2 of them today.
Yep.
So let's see if you can get the other 3.
Oh, one's obvious. What were the 2 we mentioned? I wasn't paying attention.
I'm not going to tell you if you weren't paying attention.
Or write it down.
I'm just giving it to you right now.
Oh,
Here you go.
okay.
Here's Nick Williams. Yeah, he foul tips the fastball, 0-1. Oh, right, him.
I got 4.
Left-handed first baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the center fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm missing one though.
And didn't the old first baseman hit 4 in a game?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Not
yes,
very.
yes. No question he did.
I asked him once, he wouldn't tell me.
Oh!
Starting and stopping at first was Hoskins, and had DeGrom stepped off, he would have had him dead to rights.
Watch this. That's one of those plays when he did this, DeGrom was in walking low to go home, and it's just too late to change gears.
One and 2 to Williams. Slider misses, 2-2. Jake is throwing hard tonight.
I think he's angry about his last performance out there. You know, he's had to sit there and stew for 4 days, 5 days.
He's angry about the second inning too.
Just inside, full count.
I'll tell you the truth, the last few starts, it's not only been the last one, this one reminds me of his beginning starts to the year, where his mechanics were a little off. He could strike out a lot of guys, but it was a lot of deep counts.
A lot of pitches up. We're not seeing that ball that's a dart on the knees to start the at-bats.
Hoskins will run, and Williams grounds one to the right side. Cicchini's got it, and that retires the side. Caught stealing helps the cause for deGrom. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 3-1 Phillies. Down 3-1, and we check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Well, Gary, the Mets have a lot of fans in Hollywood, and I'm sitting next to another one right here. Dylan O'Brien, you might know him from Maze Runner, Teen Wolf, got a new movie with Michael Keaton coming out, American Assassin. But, I mean, this isn't a celebrity sports fan. This is a legitimate Mets fan from birth. What was it like for you out there as Reyes grounds out to second right here, but throwing out the first pitch in front of the fans here at Citi Field?
It was a dream, you know, and to be honest, it's like most nerve-wracking thing ever, but I had to do it. I mean, I knew, you know, even if I screwed it up, I was going to be excited about it. I had to just, you know, I knew that this would be a moment that I'd always remember, so I had to do it, man.
So after all you do, I mean, the movies, the TV shows, this was much more nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, meeting Gary, Keith, and Ron too, and the boys in the clubhouse, like this is what I get starstruck by. Absolutely, yeah.
What was your favorite Mets moment in your life? And they're making it pretty good. They don't want you on the air. They're making it quick here. Aoki grounds out.
I know. They're kicking me off. We got to do a bottom of the fourth. So anyway, well, I came to the, you know, I was able to fly out to the World Series 2015, and for me, you know, that was my first in-person like World Series since I'd been worshiping the team inappropriately so, and. You know, I came for the whole weekend. I was here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, taking the train in every night. And you know, despite the result, it will forever be. I still got the beer soaked deep into this jersey. It was just one of the best times I've ever had, you know, and a dream to watch my guys doing it, you know.
Now that jersey is a David Wright jersey. You were telling me he's your favorite player.
Yep.
But again, of all the celebrities that you've met, you say you're pretty nervous to meet David Wright, and your mom actually had to be the one to do that. I mean, she met him, and you were unable to do that, you said.
Yeah, she had no problem going up to him. No, he lives out by us now and is around a lot. Like I have friends tell me they see him all the time. I just avoid it at all costs. I'm too nervous to do it. It'll freak me out. I can't do it. It's just, you know, yeah, he's my idol, man. Grew up being my idol.
So this movie coming out, American Assassin, with Michael Keaton.
We don't have to talk about that. We can keep talking baseball. You don't have to.
I was told I had to plug the movie.
All right,
so
fine.
Give it a quick pop.
All right. American Assassin. Check it out. September 15th. Let's get back to baseball, baby.
All right. So I mean, why are you so nervous to meet David Wright, though? I mean, you know, I think that's interesting that you've got.
My palms sweat even thinking about it, man. My palms are sweating just thinking about it.
Why though? I mean, you met so many. So what is it? What is it like? You met so many actors. You're around these guys all the time. What is the thought process like of a guy that you grew up, like you said, idolizing? Why is that different?
I don't know. There's something about, you know, even when you see movies or TV shows. And a baby strudel. Here we go, baby. I call Strudel Cabrera Strudel. It's my girlfriend's nickname for him. Hi, babe. Had to say hi to her. You know, when you with David Wright, you know, I spent every day for 6 months a year with him. You know, from the time I was 14 on. So it was just I don't know. It's a lot more of an intimate, distant relationship, I guess. So, and I don't know. Baseball guys are they're my heroes. So it's just I'm uncomfortable even thinking about it. He's not here, right? He's not gonna like surprise me.
No, he's not right here, and it's actually starting to rain a little bit, so we'll let you go right now. Though. But Dylan, appreciate the time, man, and good luck with the movie.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Pleasure.
All right, guys, back to you.
I wonder what his reaction was when he met Zoe Deschanel when he was on New Girl.
Very nice.
I forgot to ask him.
There's Travis d'Arnaud, who doubled his first time up to drive in the Mets run. Mets have had 4 hits in this game, all doubles. Cabrera the latest. He's at second with 2 out. Up foul. Hoskins coming over, hoping for a play, but it's in the stands.
Just thinking that since Ike Davis, that's just all those plays have been taken away by Ike. He just made so many in the short time he was here.
It seemed like he made more of them when he first arrived.
Yeah.
There were like 3 plays where he flipped over the dugout railing. Travis taps one off the mound, comes lively to barehanded, and he makes a lively play to end the inning.
Lively throw.
Lively in the Phillies after 3 with a 3-1 lead. Fourth inning, 3-1 Phillies. Hyun-Soo Kim, who had a base hit in the middle of their 3-run second inning, leads off against Jacob deGrom, who has struck out 5 over the first 3. All 3 runs against him unearned. Kim is starting his 14th game for the Phillies since coming over from the Orioles. 2 hits yesterday, base hit first time up today, and a second hit tonight as he takes that one the other way. And another leadoff base runner for the Phillies. That's 3 straight innings they've gotten their first man on.
giving him that hole. He got a base hit to left field once already, and the Mets continue to want to play up the middle with Reyes.
It's almost like you take away deGrom's fastball away. He's not going to be able to throw it anymore because Kim just keeps peppering that hole.
So now J.P. Crawford's second big league at bat. He hit a ground ball down to his old buddy Dom Smith, who threw it away into left field trying to get a force play, and Crawford came around to score. So tonight they've got Galvis playing short, and Crawford, who's been a shortstop his entire career and who they believe is going to be a shortstop in the big leagues, playing third base.
Well, that's why I asked the question. I wasn't really trying to be funny. You know, when you said that one of the missions for the Philadelphia Phillies is have Galvis play 162. I mean, my thought is if this guy's the future, he should be playing like Rosario is playing, although he's not playing now with a bad finger. He should be playing all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a little different, though, because in Galvis, that one's hit up to the backhand of Reyes. Gets the out at second. The turn by Cicchini is in time for the double play. Beautifully turned. Reyes and Cicchini turn over the 6-4-3 double play. 2 out.
That's as good a double play as there is. Reyes with a nice backhand, but Cicchini with the turn and the strong throw. Beautiful. Well done. Plays behind the bag, takes it behind and to the side. Well done.
It's a better throw from Cicchini than some we've seen.
Yes.
So 2 out for Jorge Alfaro. I was going to say, I think it's a little different because Galvis is having a Gold Glove season at shortstop.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
And they're going to have to figure out what's more valuable to them. The skills that Galvis brings, assuming that Crawford is the real deal.
Yeah.
Do you keep Galvis, Franco, Hernandez? You figure one of those 3 guys is going to have to go if Crawford is going to be in this lineup next year.
Well, do you have to make a move? Can you keep them all as an insurance policy?
Hernandez could be your backup guy, but he's a pretty valuable
I would
leadoff.
think Galvis would become my backup guy, and you play the kid at short. I like Hernandez.
2 to Alfaro. Here's tonight's quote of the game presented by Investors Bank, banking in your best interest. This is from J.P. Crawford, and he has nothing but praise for the guy in front of him at shortstop.
Classy.
And Galvis does have a chance to win a Gold Glove this year.
He does.
Alfaro hits one past deGrom and into center field, a base hit. So a 2-out single for the number 8 hitter Alfaro. And the 6th hit of the night against deGrom.
I think this kid has a chance, Keith. I know he's got kind of a big swing, but he's big, he's strong, going to be playing in a small ballpark.
Six hits against deGrom, and 4 of the 6 have gone right up the middle. Now Lively, the pitcher, who has one of those, he drove in 2 runs, and he drives this one deep to center field. Lagares back to the warning track. That ball's out of here. Ben Lively with his 2nd career home run, a 2-run shot, a 4 RBI night for the Philly pitcher, and the Phillies lead it 5-1.
It's not that easy, is it?
Opposite field. Another fastball up and out over the plate. That's what you would say, Ronnie, a little league game right now. We're only in the top of the 4th.
First pitch swinging, and he goes to right center to take it out.
Let's see. Want the ball away? Oh, hanging slide ball.
You know what it is? He steps in the bucket. So both pitches were on the inside part. So when you step in the bucket, that makes it down the middle of the plate.
And this is how you beat Lagares.
Over the fence.
Yes. Hit it where he can't catch it.
That one's flared into left field, a base hit for Hernandez. The 4th hit of the inning against deGrom. And the first time Hernandez has put the ball in play.
He does step in the bucket. strong kid. And he hit that ball pretty good. I should say, very good. Went out the opposite field.
Ben Lively now has 19 major league at bats. He's 6 for 19 with 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in. The pitcher.
See, if they only played him more, he might be able to go after Rhys Hoskins.
He's hitting like he should be a member of the Mets pitching staff.
It's interesting to watch him though as a pitcher, and you hit a home run and all that kind of stuff, but you got to go back to concentrating on getting him out. Here's the contact.
Smoker getting to work in the Mets bullpen is deGrom, who has struggled after a dominating first inning where he struck out the side. He's been banged around a little bit over the next 3 innings. Here's Galvis, who's 1 for 2, at a base hit to center field his last time up. Talking about the Phillies infield and what they might do, by far the most disappointing guy in the group has been Franco.
It's true.
And you wonder, do they still believe in him and his ability to be a middle of the order run producer?
I don't think you quit on him just yet.
Another base hit to center field, and the Phillies are racking up the hits against deGrom. That's 9 of them now, 5 in this inning.
He's just getting teeing off on his fastball, Ronnie.
Secondary stuff since the first inning, he's had a hard time getting over, a lot of spinning sliders. So we saw that one to Lively, and all the fastballs again are thigh high or higher. And to me, when deGrom is down around the knees, that's when he has those explosive games.
Trying to figure out a way to right the ship. He's already up over 80 pitches working in the 4th inning. And here's Herrera, who's been up twice and struck out both times. That's turned a double play behind deGrom that left him with 2 out and nobody on, but he's given up 4 straight hits since then, including the 2-run homer to Lively. That's ripped into right center, a base hit for Herrera. Around third and coming home is Hernandez. First to third goes Galvis. That ball gets loose on the infield. Digging for second, Herrera, and he makes it without a throw. So they keep on hitting bullets against deGrom, and the Mets throwing the ball around a bit to boot. Herrera now has a 19-game hitting streak, and the Phillies now have a 6-1 lead.
I think that's a slider, RJ.
Yeah, just a little rolling slider.
Why didn't Cicchini catch that? Was it over his head?
It's a little over his head, and Reyes didn't react, and Cabrera tried to barehand it instead of catching it with his glove. We can go on. Just messed up play there for the Mets.
Kind of a flat slider here, and here's the turn. Always keep your eye on the ball. You never know. Don't go. Don't get. There you go.
They'll charge the error on Aoki on the throw, allowing Herrera to move up. And now Hoskins takes inside. 1-1. 5 straight 2-out hits for the Phillies.
Shocking.
Becomes funereal in here if you can't get this out.
Hoskins has already singled and walked today. He's got 2 in scoring position.
Here's the throw again, and that's way over Cicchini's head, and Reyes not even paying attention.
That's just miscommunication between the 2 of them.
No, well, is Cicchini, could he catch? I can't tell if he could catch that ball.
I think he let it go on purpose.
He's got to catch it, and he's the cutoff man out there. And then I can understand, Reyes, assuming that Cicchini's going to catch the ball. If that's a catchable ball, Cicchini's got to catch that ball. I'm not sure from the angle.
Unless he thought Herrera was going to try for second, but I don't think that was the case. Hoskins, the 8th man up in the inning. Nick Williams on deck. And Hoskins fouls back the fastball, 3-2. Well, he's never lost to the Phillies. The Mets have never lost when he started against the Phillies, but they're down 6-1 tonight. Third out in the 4th inning, proving quite elusive for Jake. 3-2 to Hoskins, and that's ball 4, and the inning continues with the bases loaded for Nick Williams, and that's going to be all for deGrom.
Wow.
So he walks Hoskins for the 2nd time, and that's the last pitch he'll throw. 89 of them over 3 2/3. A night that began so promisingly for deGrom, striking out the side of the 1st, and nothing went right after that. Early exit for deGrom. And Josh Smoker will be coming in to relieve him in the 4th inning. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon. Career, he had a 2 2/3 inning stint against the Phillies in 2015. Mets rebounded to win that game 16-7. They might have to do the same today. Josh Smoker on to replace him.
Just shocking with the stuff that deGrom had in that 1st inning, that Smoker's in this game in the 4th.
And he misses badly with his first pitch breaking ball to Nick Williams, who's 0 for 2 today. Bases loaded with 2 out, 3 runs already home for the Phillies in the 4th. Galvis at 3rd, Herrera at 2nd, Hoskins at 1st. And that's smashed to center field. Lagares won't get this. It'll go all the way back to the wall. Galvis is in. Herrera scores. Here comes Hoskins around 3rd. He'll score on a bases clearing double by Nick Williams. And the Phillies have blown it open. It's now 9-1 Philadelphia.
Oh boy. That was a rocket.
Fastball up middle, and Lagares is not going to run this one down. This was a hand close on that line drive.
All we've seen in this game is the back of Lagares' jersey. And those are all deGrom's runs. Oh boy.
deGrom, final line, 3 2/3, 10 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a home run. All 6 runs in this inning have scored after 2 out and nobody on. Alfaro singled, Lively homered, Hernandez, Galvis, Herrera singled, Hoskins walked, and then the bases clearing double by Williams.
I've been in that seat where deGrom is right now. Tell you exactly what you're thinking. What a waste of a day.
Kim is called out on strikes, and the inning finally comes to an end. But the Phillies put up a 6th spot in the top of the 4th. They lead 9-1. Ben Lively has helped stake himself to a 9-1 lead. He's driven in 4 of the Phillies' 9 runs. Brandon Nimmo leads off for the Mets in the home 4th. Nimmo took a call 3rd strike his first time up. Jacob deGrom charged with 9 runs, the most runs he's ever been saddled with is in his major league career. 3 2/3 innings, the 2nd shortest outing of his major league career.
He's as shocked as the fans here.
2-0 to Nimmo with Lagares on deck, and a call strike, 2-1. And that misses. We mentioned that Nimmo has been on base 3 or more times in 3 straight games. The Mets rookie record for reaching base in consecutive games 3 times is 4 games, so he could do that tonight. Set by Ken Singleton, 1970, and tied by Lenny Dykstra, 1985. Singleton could hit.
Yes, he was a
switch hitter, power from both sides.
Very talented ball player.
Broken bat flare to short, waiting on it Galvis, and a quick toss in time to get Nimmo by a stride, 1 away. SNY's Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Ken Singleton traded by the Mets to get?
I don't know, and I was going to look it up.
Rusty Staub.
Oh, well.
It was Singleton and Jorgensen.
Mike Jorgensen
going to the Expos for Rusty.
Left-handed first baseman
from Queens, Bayside High School.
Jorgie was when he was with the Cardinals. I remember him being a tough out off the bench, or if he got that occasional start at first base for Pete Guerrero or Jack Clark, he always a tough out.
And he was one of those guys who came back for a second tour of duty with the Mets. Jorgensen.
It's a good glove at first base.
Yep.
1-2 to Lagares, who doubled his first time up, leading off the second. Mets couldn't bring him around. Mets got their run in the first on doubles by Aoki and d'Arnaud. Usually the Mets have had 4 hits in this game, and they've all been doubles against Lively. But he's had the more potent bat. 2-run single, 2-run homer. Lagares pops one up in foul ground. Hoskins coming over to the railing, but not enough room. Final game of the series tomorrow night. Matt Harvey pitching on short rest. Goes for the Mets tomorrow night. Nick Pivetta, who pitched a gem against the Mets earlier this season, goes for the Phillies.
He's had one good one and one bad one, right, against the Mets? I saw the bad one. I saw the good one.
Whoa. Just a little high. Both Sandy Alderson and Terry Collins today were asked pointedly about the decision making on Harvey going on short rest tomorrow in his second start back from the disabled list. And both reiterated that Matt very much wanted to do it and that they do not feel there's any injury risk involved as Lagares draws a walk. First walk given up by Lively. The Meadows Music and Arts Festival returns to Citi Field from September 15th through the 17th for 3 unforgettable nights of music. The star-studded lineup includes Jay-Z, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Gorillaz, Future, Nas, Weezer, and more. Purchase tickets at themeadowsnyc.com.
Is that G-U-E-R or Gorillaz?
No,
I wasn't paying attention to the
Gorillaz with a Z at the end.
Oh, okay.
And Nas, N-A-S.
Nas is outstanding, by the way.
Is he?
Got a little Californication from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, that's right. I like the Red Hot Chilies.
Jay-Z, even you won't be able to get a ticket to Jay-Z. Don't worry about that.
Shoot.
But, you know, Keith knows a lot of people. I know because I read his Sports Illustrated interview today, and he knows a lot of people.
He doesn't know Jay-Z's people, I'll tell you that.
No.
But he could get to know Jay-Z.
That's true. That's true. There's got to be a 6 degrees of separation, connection there for him. That was a great article, by the way, Keith.
I like that. Thank you. But I thought it was well done.
I read it this morning. I texted you right away.
Yes, you did. I wasn't aware of it.
Great.
Thank you. Because that was done around a month ago. I've totally forgotten about it.
You come off as very erudite.
Oh, I just like to read. That doesn't make me erudite.
Yeah, actually it does. Strikes out to the second out. Third strikeout for Lively. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. We asked who were the 5 players who hit 4 home runs and played for the Mets. Well, we already told you Cameron and Green. You got Gil Hodges, Willie Mays, Carlos Delgado. None of those gentlemen hit 4 home runs as a Met, but they all hit 4 home runs and were a Met at some point.
It's a little bit of a theme when you go through these things.
Cicchini fouls one away. It's kind of like the question somebody asked us was it last week, a couple of weeks ago, which we have not used for our Verizon trivia question because there are too many answers and they don't fit on the screen. 10 players who've played for the Mets who've won an MVP.
Okay.
Let's let our viewers think about that. Cicchini yanks one to third. It's grabbed by Crawford, and that retires the side. That time he broke his bat.
Mitchell.
We go to the 5th inning, 9-1 Philadelphia. Let's go to the M&M Sweet Seats, and to Steve Gelbs' report tonight is brought to you by M&M. Steve?
Well, Gary, as you mentioned, J.P. Crawford and Dom Smith were great friends growing up. They started playing baseball together at the Urban Youth Academy when they were 12 years old in Compton. And it was funny listening to Dom Smith talk about J.P. growing up, because he didn't know until their senior year in high school that J.P. Crawford could actually play shortstop, because the two of them were so good. They were always playing up a couple of levels, and the older kids got to play the middle infield. So J.P. Crawford was the center fielder. Dom Smith, by the way, still attests that he's a better center fielder than he is a shortstop, even though he's playing third base tonight. But he said he was like Lagares back there in center field, fearless, running into walls, and it wasn't again until his senior season, as he dunks one in for a base hit, that Dom knew, because they played at separate high schools. The only time that Dom Smith and J.P. Crawford ever played together was on the travel teams with the older kids.
So J.P. Crawford has his first major league hit, a soft single to center, and Larry Bowa will take charge of the baseball. How many first hits do you think Larry Bowa has accumulated in his role in the Phillies dugout? So congratulations to J.P. Crawford, first of many. And the Phillies' 12th hit of the night, Jorge Alfaro has one of them. He singled and scored in the 4th. Josh Smoker came on in the 4th inning. Gave up a 3-run double to Nick Williams before striking out Hyun-Soo Kim. Now he gives up a leadoff hit to Crawford in the 5th. 12 hits now for the Phillies tonight. Smoker throws the fastball by him 0-2.
Well, Crawford will have to get 2,190 more hits to catch Bowa.
You know, Bowa, he was a really good player.
Really good. He was probably
struck out Alfaro, and that's the first out.
He was probably a little bit like Hunter Pence of his day. He wasn't like a beautiful player to watch. You know what I mean? He was a little awkward in the way kind of he threw. To me, he seemed a little awkward, but he always made the plays.
Yeah, he was a perfect AstroTurf shortstop because he was very sure-handed. He had that little perfect crow hop that he made. And you're right, his throwing motion wasn't beautiful, but the crow hop was perfect. It was like a little terrier out on the field.
Yes, he was. Or Jack Russell.
There you go. Well, here's Ben Lively, who's had himself a career day at the plate. 2-run single, 2-run homer.
Well, here are the base hits right here by the Mr. Lively, who's been very lively with the bat. The one on your right is looks like the home run to me, and the one on the left is that line drive he got to left field, a base hit.
Upward cut as he rolls one out to Reyes, and Lively does not run hard, which gives Reyes a chance to throw him out. So Lively retired for the first time tonight as Crawford moves up to second, and there are 2 out. Now Cesar Hernandez comes up for the 4th time. 2 strikeouts and a single. He's 1 for 3. So Keith, did you think about my question? The 10 Mets who have won MVPs elsewhere?
I got 6 of the 10.
Like automatic 6 or?
Who are your 6?
You want me to say?
Yeah.
Yogi, me, Mays, Kenny Boyer, George Foster, Kevin Mitchell.
That's 7.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
6.
I know one because we didn't have it the other day. It was the answer to one of our trivia questions in Cincinnati, and we should have had it on there and we didn't. Second baseman, played for San Francisco Giants.
Yep.
Oh yes, Mr. Kemp. Okay, now we need 3 more.
Did you not mention the one-time Mets player manager?
He didn't.
I did not. I didn't know the Mets had a player manager.
For 3 weeks, he was the player manager when he first got here. When he took over.
Cardinal.
Yeah. Not when he first. He won a few World Series on the other side of town.
Oh, I mentioned him.
Torrey, so you did.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Joe Torre, of course. Jeez.
Fifth inning brought to you by your local Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Sales Event is on. For big savings, go to buyfordnow.com. So you've got 8 now.
Got 8.
Only 2 left.
Are they?
Got a leadoff hitter and a big first baseman.
One was my teammate in Oakland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh gosh, Ricky.
Right. Leaves only 1. Big first baseman.
Big first baseman.
Oh,
Played for Terry Collins. Line to center field. Lagares comes over to snag it.
he won it in Boston.
Side retired.
Mo
Vaughn. You got it. There are your 10. Halfway through. 9-1 Philly. Travis Tyrone will pinch hit for the Mets as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And he takes a slider for a strike from Ben Lively. Tyrone struggling to grab a foothold in the beginning of his big league career. Just 1 hit in 16 at bats. Fouls back the fastball. Jose Reyes on deck. Then Nori Aoki against Lively, is looking for his 3rd big league win. He got his 2nd one in his last start in Miami. Went 6 good innings. Allowed 2 runs and a 3-2 win. Drove in 2 runs in that game. He's driven in 4 tonight. Two to Tyrone, and the curveball pulled foul. Your 4th, 5th inning recap. Mets had a 1-0 lead in this game. Jacob deGrom struck out the side of the 1st. Now there's the good news. You can read the rest. On the inside corner, and Tyrone is caught looking. 4th strikeout of the night for Lively. That's kind of a theme tonight, right?
Yes, right.
You're finally catching on, Gary.
Well, you know, this is a visual medium.
It's going to be more visual tonight, I think, than most.
I'm afraid that it might be. Just you wait. Third time around the batting order now for Lively. Reyes, who came into the night with a 10-game hitting streak, has gone 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded out. And he takes the curveball outside. So the Marlins are playing at home against the Nationals tonight. Broken bat flare off Reyes' bat, and Crawford comes to get a 2-out. Steven Strasburg is pitching for the Nats, and so far Washington's up 1-0 in the 6th, which means that Giancarlo Stanton has not homered yet tonight. 53 home runs after his opposite field shot last night, and I read a fascinating note today. You know, this is a huge home run year by any measure. There are going to be more guys hit 10 than there ever had. There are going to be more guys hit 20 than there ever had. But at the top of the leaderboard in the major leagues, Stanton has 53, and Aaron Judge is second with 38, plus 15 for the major league leader over the runner-up. The last time that a player led the major leagues in home runs and had at least 15 more than the second place finisher, 1932. Jimmy Fox hit 58. Babe Ruth hit 41. So Stanton is proving to be at an entirely different plateau than everybody else in this home run filled year.
Strasburg coming off a shutout in his last start. Shutout means a complete game 9-inning effort for anyone out there. It's not a 6-inning effort. He also hit a home run in that game. So back-to-back good games from Strasburg coming off the DL.
Meanwhile, Max Scherzer threw off flat ground today and felt okay, which is certainly a happy note for the Nats. Scherzer's had a couple of physical issues to deal with lately, neck and calf.
He got hit by a ball, right?
Yeah. Well, he got hit in the first, and he pitched through the 5th, and then couldn't run to first base and wound up coming out of the game. Jacob Rame is up in the Mets bullpen. He'll make his Citi Field debut. And Aoki is on with a 2-out walk. So Aoki, who doubled and scored in the first inning, is on base for the second time. Second walk given up by Lively. And now has Drupal Cabrera, who doubled down the right field line his last time up. First baseman Hoskins playing behind Aoki in a 9-1 game. It seemed like the strike zone was wider in the first inning.
Now it's smaller, but more runs have been scored.
Seems the way that works, right? And the curveball down, 2-0 to Cabrera. Well, yesterday it was the Mets who raced out to a big early lead. Went up 10-0 before the Phillies began to rally. Today it's the Phillies who have taken the big edge. Yesterday's game not unusual in Mets Phillies games recently. Last 2 years the Mets have had 6 games against the Phillies where they've led by at least 10 runs. 6 against the Phillies and 6 combined against all other teams. Here's the strike, 3-1. This year the Mets have beaten the Phillies 10 out of 14. More dominant at Citizens Bank Park than here.
They rain home runs in that ballpark.
It's one of the reasons the Mets lead the National League in home runs. That's drilled to center field. Herrera has it lined up, and that retires the side. So Lively is through 5, having himself a big day. He's got a 9-1 lead. at-bats, and all 6 are home runs.
Doesn't matter what league he's in.
Well, here's Jacob Rame, second appearance as a Met, first at Citi Field.
Yeah, he made his opener against the Houston Astros, donning the specs. He came here from the Mets, of course, the Curtis Granderson trade.
Freddie Galvi's first man to face him, and he misses away with a fastball. Well, the Mets, when they dealt away their veterans at the deadline, brought back a half a dozen hard-throwing young relievers, Rame among them. Shows off the changeup, and it's 1-1. I like the sports glasses. A little Tyler Clippard, Brendan Donnelly kind of look.
I mean, they're nice looking now. I remember my brothers used to wear those glasses, but we would roughhouse so much that most of them would be broken, so they'd have pieces of tape to make sure they stayed on.
With the black frames with the white tape?
Yeah. It's not a good look.
The sports glasses I had as a kid were the ugliest things.
Yeah.
They just had the big piece of rubber right in the middle.
Yeah, I remember those. They were terrible.
Terrible.
I never had to wear glasses when I was young.
But you don't wear them now. I mean, that's what's amazing about your eyesight. You don't wear glasses to drive home at night, right?
No, I don't.
Galvis is 2 for 3 today. Scored a run. He's been caught stealing once. Jacob Rame, born in Atlanta but grew up in Texas, Denton, Texas. Grayson Community College in Denison, Texas. 6th round pick by the Dodgers in 2013. And that's lined to center field, and that's Galvis's 3rd hit of the night. And once again, the Phillies get the leadoff man on. That's 5 innings in a row.
Goes with that ball down and away. Galvis gets in trouble when he gets a little home run happy. He's really a table setter.
So now Odubel Herrera, who extended his hitting streak to 19 straight games with an RBI single in the 4th, the longest hitting streak for the Phillies since 2007. Chase Utley. Lifted to left, and Nimmo is right there waiting for it. 1 out. Final game of this series tomorrow night, presented by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Mets and Phillies. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night right here on SNY. Mets and Phils play tomorrow, and then they have 3 more games to finish the season in Philadelphia, culminating on October 1st. Here's Rhys Hoskins, who's been on base 3 times in a row, and he smashes this one toward the left field corner. Up against the wall. Galvis digging for 3rd. Nimmo has trouble getting rid of it, but does. And Hoskins pulls it at 2nd with his 4th double, and he's on base for the 4th time tonight.
He looks like an entirely different hitter, does he not, Gary?
Well, he got off the schneid against the Mets finally in that last game in Philly, and he hasn't stopped hitting since.
Turns on this down and in fastball.
So Hoskins 2 for 2 with a pair of walks. Phillies have 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. And here's Nick Williams, who drove in 3 with a long double his last time up. He bangs one off his foot, a foul ball. Williams greeted Josh Smoker after he relieved Jacob deGrom in the 4th inning. And drove in all 3 inherited runners. deGrom went 3 2/3, allowed 10 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned. Smoker an inning in the 3rd, no runs, 2 hits. Phillies now have 14 hits for the night. Mets have had far too many games like this season. In a year that was supposed to be pitching rich, they have had so many games that looked very much like tonight's.
I guess that raises the question of what happens when 2018 arrives. Will the prospects for the Mets pitching staff be as lofty as they were coming into this year? Will there be new additions? Sandy Alderson was asked the question today, do you need to bring in a veteran starter for next year? That's grounded down to third. Cabrera holds the runners and gets the second out. And Sandy's response was very much in the affirmative. He said, you know, if we can find a guy who can give us an expected 180 to 200 innings, it's certainly something we have to think about, in addition to the pitchers that they'll bring back.
Well, they had that guy in Bartolo Colon, but you know, part of it was Bart didn't want to come back here because he wasn't assured of getting starts. He would have gotten starts, plenty of starts here, although he also struggled in the first half.
He has an ERA over 6 this year, so
he's pitched better since he went to the Twins, though.
Well, Atlanta, that new ballpark, that was not designed for him.
That's not designed for anybody.
Nor Julio Teheran, by the way, the Braves ace, who has won 2 games there.
It is. You better be a hard sinker ball pitcher.
Hyun-Soo Kim bats with 2nd and 3rd and 2 out. He's 2 for 3 tonight, and he takes the changeup low and away, 2-0. Last year, the Mets gave up 10 or more runs 6 times. This year, the Mets have given up 10 or more runs 14 times, and it might be 15 by the time this night's over. And now 3-0 to Kim with J.P. Crawford waiting on deck.
Well, it's been the 2-out hit, hasn't it, tonight for the Phils?
Yes. Well, particularly in that 6-run 4th.
And deGrom had 2 out and nobody on in that 4th inning, and then 6 runs scored. Strike 3-1. Galvis at 3rd, Hoskins at 2nd, and Kim takes a knee-high strike, 3-2. Three-two from Rame, and Kim with a half swing. He went around, strike 3, side retired. So Rame finds his way out of trouble, gives up a single and a double, but no runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and still down 9-1.
see, we are professional grade. We try to be professional grade here, and sometimes we succeed.
Always lately the Mets get scheduled those darn night games in Chicago. You know, we haven't had. When's the last time we had a day game there?
More importantly, what's the night off tomorrow about? What's that about?
I don't make the schedule.
So you weren't here yesterday.
I don't know why.
And you won't be here tomorrow. You just dropped in tonight, so.
Well, I didn't
say
drop
hi.
in.
Darno thrown out by Galvis, one away.
And I'm not going to Chicago. Then I think I got the rest of the games after that.
Well, here's the good thing about the fact that you showed up tonight. It gives us an opportunity to do something we haven't done in a while, which has become, you know, a popular feature in these blowout games. I think we're going to be unveiling the baseball cards. Our big box of baseball.
Who calls it a popular feature?
No, it's very popular.
Everybody I have spoken to says
they love
the baseball card.
Yep. It's gotten over real big.
I just didn't want it to be self-proclaimed a popular feature.
No, we would never do that.
It's not like we're going to do it every day. You know, anything good, if you overdo it.
Yeah, so true.
Nimmo fouls back the fastball, 2-1. Nimmo has struck out and grounded out today, 0 for 2. Mets have had 4 hits. They all came in the first 3 innings. They were all doubles. And Lively deals one high, and he's behind Nimmo, 3-1.
Oh boy!
A high strike called by Greg Gibson, who has had an interesting strike zone all night.
He's had the Ronnie would like to be on the mound right now. I'll tell you that.
Right.
And the breaking ball misses outside. Interesting call there. Well, Nimmo's on with a walk time now for another Mets memory.
And I had a long conversation with a close friend of mine. We were talking about confidence and believing and momentum and things like this. So I came to the ballpark that day all fired up. I was in extremely good mood. And I was out here in the outfield during batting practice hollering to the different players on the club and to the fans that you got to believe, you know.
That, of course, was the inimitable Frank Edwin McGraw, better known as Tug. And he was always coming to the ballpark in a good mood, by the way.
Really?
Oh.
Tug was always funny. Coming out of that bullpen in the golf cart. Remember those days?
He used to toss his glove.
Yes. He was quite the competitor.
And when he'd come off after the inning, banging the glove against his thigh.
Yes.
How'd you do against Tug? Do you remember?
I got a very key hit off of him in '79 when he was with the Phillies. I was 0 for 3 with Pete Rose making that charge on me, and I hit a double in the left center field off of him, and that's all I need to remember because that pretty much cinched my batting title from the hard charging Pete Rose.
Lagares has doubled and walked tonight. He takes a curveball for a strike. Well, you know, Tug built his reputation as a relief pitcher, but he also had one shining moment as a starting pitcher for the Mets. In the early days when the Mets played the Dodgers, the Mets were Sandy Koufax's whipping boys.
Yeah.
I think he was 13-0 against the Mets at one point, and Tug, making a rare start, was the first pitcher ever to beat Sandy Koufax as a Met. Williams coming across the line into foul territory to make the catch to retire Lagares 2 out.
How many innings did he go? Remember?
I have to go back and look.
Yeah, because he probably didn't go 9 because he was still as a reliever.
I wouldn't think so. By the way, you were 4 for 21 against Tug, so he had the.
That's not good. That's interstate.
Interstate.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you can't win them all. He's a pretty good pitcher, you know.
Well, what's amazing about Tug McGraw, I mean, we're talking about a relief pitcher, right?
Yeah.
he is an iconic figure for two different franchises.
That's right.
Certainly for the Mets, because of, you know, you got to believe 1973, he was also a big part of the '69 World Championship team. But also he was the prime mover for the Phillies when they won their first World Championship in 1980. Struck out Willie Wilson to end the World Series.
Yes, he did.
Willie Wilson had one of my good friends, horrible World Series, right? Struck out a lot in the leadoff position.
Nimmo runs. Smith swings and misses. They weren't holding Nimmo on with a 9-1 lead, and so Nimmo stole the base.
Watch the glove of Nick Williams here. Flip of the glove, flip. I wouldn't, if I was teaching young kids, I'd not have them do that. I want that glove open, but you never know. Oh, look at that. Are you kidding me?
Grounded. Oh, nice stop, Hernandez. And he throws out Smith. Side retired. Cesar Hernandez saves Ben Lively a run with a diving stop. Hernandez to his right, denying Dominic Smith. We go to the 7th, 9-1 Philadelphia. All right, Eamon, we go to the 7th here, 9-1 Philadelphia. Kevin McGowan, just back from the minor leagues, makes his second appearance in the big leagues.
See with McGowan's numbers in the minor leagues. He had a good season in AAA for the 51s.
J.P. Crawford, his 4th big league at bat, had his first major league hit his last time up, a single to center field. 22-year-old Crawford. And a fastball strike, 1-2. McGowan's 1-2, and it's inside. Time for AARP
RP's getting to know J.P. Crawford, distant cousin of Carl Crawford. A good changeup on McGowan to strike out Crawford for the first out of the 7th. So it's 9-1. It's the 7th inning, and it's time for the baseball cards. I've got a bunch.
I got some too.
Should I lead off?
Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
What do you got?
I got Don Carruthers from the Giants.
Who's that?
Didn't he go over to the Mets? Was he traded to the Mets?
No. Carruthers. I remember there's something about him that was unusual, but I forgot what it was.
He says on the card that he was a teammate of Jim Barr's in high school.
Okay.
But
Jim Barr, who once held the record for most consecutive batters retired until Yusmeiro Petit broke his record.
How did you know that?
I don't know. Stuff like that. Unfortunately, my first card I come up with is a guy who just passed away a few days ago, Paul Casanova.
Oh,
catcher for the Senators, who later played for the Braves.
That was one of the great names. No relation to the real Casanova.
You mean that Casanova?
Ronnie?
That was you for a while.
No, it was not.
Casanova. The card I picked is a guy I never really faced or played against, but he became a television partner for me. Buck Martinez, who was a catcher for the Royals through a lot of their great teams during the 70s.
I have an interesting story for you there.
Reyes on the backhand, long throw, and Alfaro beats it out for an infield hit. So Jorge Alfaro has his second hit of the day.
Buck Martinez's uncle, I believe, was a fireman with my father at the same firehouse. They were for around 10 years.
In California?
Leo Martinez.
Wow.
They were firemen together. Yeah.
There's Buck, now the play-by-play voice for the Toronto Blue Jays on TV.
Yes, he is. Good man. You work with him, he is uber prepared.
I got a good one.
Fly ball right field off the bat of Lively. This one will stay in the ballpark, and Aoki's got it for the second out.
I've got was a left-hand pitcher, Athletics, Lou Krause. Remember him?
Kansas City Athletics.
Kansas City Athletics. And he actually, and he bounced around too. Was he a lefty?
I've got a guy who was the first player ever picked in the draft.
Oh yes, the original draft.
The 1965 draft. Rick Monday, who later became also a broadcaster.
That's right, for the Dodgers.
And was the scourge of Montreal.
Yes,
the day they referred to as Blue Monday in Montreal.
That's right.
Because Monday hit the home run off Steve Rogers.
They brought in Steve Rogers, who was a starter in relief for the first pitch he threw, sinker, dead center field.
Didn't sink.
Didn't sink. Ronnie?
I hate to stay on a theme with Casanova, but no.
Think of Bobulinski?
No, we lost this year a Don the Groove Baylor, and one of the great human beings of the game, of course the first manager of the Rockies, but known for his ball playing. 1979 MVP, and I think I've told this story before, but when we were in the '86 World Series, we had advanced scouts come and talk to us about all the Red Sox hitters, us pitchers, and everyone was accounted for except for Don Baylor. The scouting report was on him. Pitch him inside, but if you pitch him too far inside, you probably hit him.
Right.
That was their scouting report after watching him all year. Just the toughest out.
Okay, I've got an old card of a player who at one time was a pitcher at Southern Cal and then a third baseman for the San Francisco Giants. Dave Kingman.
Oh,
as
okay.
a Giant. But here's the best part of this card. It's not Kingman on the front. It's the fact that on the back there's a trivia question. And the trivia question is, which catcher once committed 4 passed balls in 1 inning?
It's got to be Euchre.
And the name is Ray Cat.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Euchre.
Here, this is the back of the card. They've got the little cartoon about the catcher with the pass balls.
Nice.
As ball 4 to Hernandez.
Well, I'm pulling up left-hand pitchers here. I've got White Sox, with the horrible uniforms back in the Bill Veeck days. Ken Kravik. I don't know if that name rings a bell to you guys.
We're showing the catcher's mitt with a hole in it.
Oh, well, that was Kingman's glove.
That was Ray Katz's glove.
No, only kidding, Dave.
Here's Freddie Galvis, who already has 3 hits today.
I remember Ken Kravik. Remember these ugly uniforms the White Sox had, folks? And they wore them with the shorts, remember? With the collar.
Oh, that's right. They did have the shorts.
Oh, that was a horrible uniform.
Look at that.
Yeah, the collar was even worse.
Come on.
Look at him trying to look as good and cool as he could.
Well, unfortunately, he had, 70s hair. So.
That's right. I had 70s hair in '86. Well, this is a guy that was one of the Mets. Ron Hunt is the card I pulled up.
Oh,
you know a lot about him, right?
First Mets starting All-Star.
That's right.
For the 1964 National League All-Star team.
Like Don Baylor, he would get hit by the pitches also.
50 times in one season, which is still a record. That was as an Expo.
Yeah, those are the jackets, because guys used to come to spring training
yep.
and they'd come out of shape, about 20 pounds over, and they'd wear those jackets that we used to call, and this is a horrible name for them, we used to call them the heart attack jackets, because when you'd be in them, you would just sweat profusely to try to lose the 20 pounds.
It wasn't healthy for you to wear those because they had the tight bands around your wrist, and they're a rubber jacket, and in the Florida humidity, you would just soak through. It wasn't good for you.
It wasn't.
So I used to cut them off and wore them down halfway down my my forearm so I'd breathe.
I thought I saw you wearing one of those in the gym not long ago.
Wasn't no. You're wrong.
What was it?
It was it didn't have the rubber band. I can breathe.
Thank goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Galvis is on with a walk.
Gee, what's going on?
And the bases are loaded. Back-to-back walks issued by McGowan. So this guy came up in our conversation the other day when we were watching the Astros and Jose Altuve. We were talking about short players. Freddie Patek.
Oh, that's right.
Championship.
Yeah, Freddie.
You got
him in the KC uniform instead of a Pirate.
How tall was he? 5'4"?
5'4".
Wow.
Not as short as Albie Pearson, the Angels outfielder, who was 5'3".
This card is Frank Tanana. And what was the saying about Frank Tanana, Gary? You have it.
It was actually Todd Callis who came up with this. He said Frank Tanana, who threw in the 90s and the 70s and threw in the 70s and the 90s.
That's so true. And he still was effective as a Tiger pitcher later in his career.
I've got a guy that hit a lot of home runs, and then all of a sudden Nick Osaski. What happened? Remember he got he hit 30 home runs, and then he got vertigo.
Oh, that's right.
Remember? The Reds' third baseman, Nick Osaski.
You know, he was a little bit like when you watch Rhys Hoskins. He was that kind of big right-handed hitter with lots of power. Now, this would only mean something to me, and he was a good player off the bench. Mike Lum, and it meant something to me.
Wait a second. I got Mike Lum.
Oh, we both have Mike Lum at the same time.
Hold on.
Okay, then we don't need that one. We'll just go with yours.
Oh, that's when he was younger in the Braves. He went to the Reds. You had the Reds.
But the reason for me, Mike Lum, is because he's from Honolulu, Hawaii. So my mom was always a big Mike Lum fan and would always check out what he did or if he played or not.
I've got one back in the day when you had the veteran bench players that were solid. Larry Bittner.
With 2 eyes. B-I-I.
Yes.
Right?
Very good.
Larry Bittner, left-hand hitter, played for the Cubs in Montreal. He was a solid guy off the bench.
How about Tommy Verizon, when he started with the Indians and then came to the Mets later in his career? Shortstop. Tommy Verizon?
I got pitchers. I got George Culver.
Okay.
Oh, George.
Frank Rehberger. Jim Hannon. See, this is the way we dispose of pitchers now, right? Another Joe Horner. That's 2 Joe Horners. Steve Klein, pretty good lefty.
Okay.
So,
Keith, you got to know this guy, Buddy Schultz.
Of course, I played with Buddy. Big hook.
Buddy Schultz.
Buddy Schultz.
Buddy Schultz.
Buddy Schultz, left-hander, threw hard, had a snappy tom
Who did he play
curve.
for?
Cardinals and Cubs. We got him from the Cubs. He had a wicked. I faced him in AAA in Wichita.
Traded by the Cubs for Mark Covert.
Wow.
Dick Drago.
Went under the radar, that trade.
A Red Sox for you.
Do you know who Bob Jones in an Angels uniform is?
No.
Never heard of him.
Isn't that Bobby Jones, the guy that played for Texas?
No, a different guy. That's
Different guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Santo Alcala.
Yes.
You remember him with the Reds.
Faced him in AAA too.
Fly ball hit out to shallow left, and Nimmo is there.
Who made the last out?
That would be Herrera, who flied to left. McGowan strands the bases loaded.
Santo Alcala couldn't get me out.
Who could? Thursday, get an inside look at the Sheldon Richardson trade and its effect on the Jets defensive line. Plus, the crew weighs in on the decision to start Josh McCown for week 1 on the premiere of Jets Game Plan Thursday at 4:30 only on SNY. Gavin Cecchini leading off in the bottom of the 7th. Your Mets box score for tonight: 4 doubles and a run early in the game. Nothing since. Last score presented by Verizon. Ben Lively has had himself quite a night on the mound and at the plate. Cecchini pops one up. Coming back is Alfaro for a look, but it's out of play. So we've been shuffling through some baseball cards. I have come across a run of Mets wearing other uniforms.
Okay.
Generally uniforms where they succeeded better. Here's 3, right? Jim Fregosi.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Traded for Nolan Ryan. Okay.
Tommy Davis, who had one really good year as a Met, but he excelled as a Dodger.
He could fly, right?
Batting champion. And World Series MVP with the Tigers, not so successful for the Mets, Mickey Lolich.
Won 3 games in the '68 World Series, all complete games.
Let me add another one there too. Mike Vail in an Expo uniform.
Well, Mike Vail, you know, as a rookie as a Met, had a 23-game hitting streak.
My first roommate in minor leagues. I was 18 years old, 1972.
Really?
I got there first. I'm in those cheap old dumpy hotels, motels on 4th Street.
In St. Petersburg.
Yes, and I waited for my roommate, and it was Mike Vail.
By the way, you know, the stand here is.
I know.
I mean, I know you're a lover of the arts. It'd be.
Now, I got one more. I got to get this one out here.
Wait a second. We need to finish Mike Vail first, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go on.
I was just going to say, you know the story about Mike Vail, that after his rookie season, he went in and asked for a raise. And the general manager told him, if you hit 300 next year, we'll give you a raise. Started out the year 1 for 3. Went in the GM's office, said, hitting over 300.
Very nice.
Oh, I believe it.
Good move.
Now, these two players are stuck together here. They are. We have Gaylord Perry, the Hall of Fame.
Of course
pitcher.
it's stuck together because he probably greased it.
And this is, yes, this is in Cleveland. And he got traded for Frank Duffy.
Right.
Frank Duffy was a shortstop, highly touted shortstop that never made it. And he's in a Cleveland uniform, so it was before the trade for Gaylord.
Matt Reynolds flies it. Didn't Frank Duffy get traded for George Foster?
I don't know. Maybe.
When he went from the Giants to the Reds?
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Who was traded for Perry then? Because Sam McDowell for Gaylord.
Sam McDowell was washed up at that time.
Sam McDowell. That's right. Frank Duffy was for George Foster.
I've got 2 Johnny Walkenfusses.
Oh.
Seriously. Johnny
Teammate.
Walkenfuss and Johnny Walkenfuss.
With the Tigers.
Yeah.
I played with Johnny. We were teammates in Tulsa. What a funny guy he was.
Do you each want a Johnny Walkenfuss?
That's okay.
I've got one. I like them.
I have one for you.
I got two Rico Petroselli.
I've got right here.
There you go.
Come in tight. This is for Gary.
What are you directing now?
Francis Xavier Healy.
Grounded out to short. Galvis makes the play on Reyes, and that retires the side. Ben Lively with 7 strong innings. He's got a 9-1 lead as we head to the 8th at Citi Field.
Got to have confidence.
Cologne discussed the Sheldon Richardson trade and its effect on the defensive line, plus predictions on the Jets season opener against the Bills on the jetsblog.com, featuring on sny.tv. Matt Reynolds, who pinch hit, stays in the game as shortstop. Eric Udell will pitch for the Mets in the 8th inning.
Well, Eric, see his ERA 4.1 now. The home run ball has really hurt Eric probably in his last 4 of 5 appearances.
Goodell last worked against the Astros, a scoreless inning on Saturday. Rhys Hoskins has been on base 4 straight times to start the night. Single, 2 walks, and a double. Got more baseball cards?
Well, you know, I was going to try to explain to you guys, but you guys said you'd never played. You never played where you used to play flip up against the wall, and if you flipped it and the guy covered your card, he would take his card and your card away. Now, if you flipped it and it kind of leaned up against the wall, then you could knock it down. If you knocked it down, then you got his 2 cards, and that's how you would kind of play a game to get each other's cards. And the better you were flip, the more cards you'd secure. Never did that, right?
I didn't. I am so lost.
Okay. All right. I'll teach you guys one day when we're on the road.
Now, I did occasionally, if I had doubles, I would take a card and put it in the spokes of my bicycle.
Oh, okay.
To make a noise. You ever do that?
All the time, yeah. With the used to put them with the when you hang up your
clothespin.
The clothespin.
Oh yeah. My parents were the king and queen of getting what just came out, getting just the opposite. So when the 10 speeds came out, the day before the 10 speeds became the favorite of everybody, I got a banana seat bicycle the day before.
You did?
Oh,
so you're saying you were a little behind the curve.
Oh, 8-track the day before cassettes came out. I mean, I can go on and on.
You got the banana seat?
Banana seat.
You had to be careful on that banana seat.
Those things are dangerous. 2-2 to Hoskins. Okay, so I got some history for you.
Okay.
Okay. Two guys who were historical icons for off-the-field reasons. Andy Messersmith,
well, of course,
helped bring about free agency in baseball.
Yes.
He and Dave McNally played out their contracts and heralded the modern era of free agency. And a guy involved in one of the greatest, well, maybe the greatest trade of all time, Mike Kekich.
Wow. I don't can't even go there.
Well,
here you go. Show that one.
Well,
you need the other card.
You need Fritz Peterson.
You need the Peterson card.
That's what you need.
That's right.
Fly ball out to left field.
That was quite a stunner.
And Nimmo retires Hoskins.
That's a Google thing. Can't even go there.
Fritz Peterson, Mike Kekich.
Oh, Dave, get out of it. Look at what are you doing in the shot?
Well, here's a guy that said
they'd have to get Swedish fish.
Here's the guy that predicted Noah Syndergaard's pulled lat, Tom House.
Oh, jeez.
That's right.
He predicted it with his work record.
Tom was the first pitching coach that I ever heard of that said that pitchers would benefit from throwing footballs.
That's right.
His guys with Texas used to throw footballs in the outfield all the time. That's a line into right field, a base hit for Nick Williams, his second hit of the night.
Yeah, Bobby Witt was one of his proteges in Texas, and Bobby used to throw footballs all the time. This player, Lenny Randle, I always remember because he was the third baseman on the bunt in Seattle that he blew it foul on the AstroTurf.
Oh, yes.
Lenny Randle.
Yes.
Also punched out his manager, Frank Lucchese.
I know. I'm trying to keep this PG here.
Here's one that I forgot. That he played for the Texas Rangers. And you Met fans, he's dear to your heart. Mr. Matlack. I forgot he got traded from the Mets to the Rangers.
I don't. In 1982, when I was in spring training, I was trying to fight John Matlack for the 5th spot in the rotation.
Before he got traded.
Yes, and that's where Richie Allen was one of the coaches. And Richie Allen, who was just so great to me, came up and said, son, what do you want to accomplish in this camp? I said, I want to be the 5th starter. He said, you're not going to be the 5th starter. John Matlack's going to make X amount of money. No way they're going to eat that. You're going to the minor leagues. I said, thanks, Rich. And he was right.
Let's see. Joe Decker. No. Floyd Wicker. A Mets card, Leo Foster.
Oh, my goodness.
Billy Sorrell. Oh, here we go. Georgie's brother. Best hitting pitcher I ever saw.
Oh,
Ken Brett.
Nickname.
Let me tell you something about Ken Brett. He threw bullets.
Used to call him the Kemmer when he was with the Red Sox. I remember people used to call him that. I think one of the most underrated hitters. He was my teammate Harold Baines of all time. Great hitter. When he was on the, you just pulled Harold Baines too?
Did.
Oh, there's something going on here. Harold Baines is the only guy I ever played with. We're facing Nolan Ryan, and the first couple of times he struck out, he was the DH that night. I wasn't pitching. I was sitting next to him, and he sat down and he just would never say a word. And he said, he's going to throw me that changeup. I'm sitting on that changeup. Next time up, hit a 3-run bomb on a changeup from Nolan Ryan.
Here's an old right-hander, Dick Bosman. Started out with the Washington Senators back in the old days. Cleveland. Here's one of the great hooks of all time, left-hander. Played for the Yankees, Mr. Holtzman, Ken Holtzman. He used to throw his windup. He'd go like this, folks. He'd go like this, and he would get right here. He'd turn his back, and he would snap his head back and throw. And he had this big old monster hook. And he was tough, so the heck with him.
He was great in '73, right? Holtzman?
For the A's in that World Series.
He came up the first year. He won, what, 9 in a row and got the line drive off his leg and broke his leg. He was 9-0, I believe. Dave, look it up. Ken Holtzman.
Dave's too busy with the Swedish fish.
I saw this guy's major league debut in 1966. It was a doubleheader. The Yankees against the Kansas City Athletics at Yankee Stadium. My father was a big Yankees fan, took me. And Stan Bonson made his major league debut that day.
B-A-H-N-S-E-N.
Yes.
Okay. This guy came up in the 90s, and he was known he was going to be the next great player. It didn't work out for him. Glenn Braggs, do you remember him?
Yeah.
He had like the greatest body any ball player's ever had.
Yep.
I've got Neil Walker's dad.
Oh, terrific.
Tom Walker. And look, he looks just like him. Here, see if you can get a shot of that. He looks just like Neil.
You had a little trouble putting it on the stand, too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he does.
He's getting a little busy there.
Well,
look at that. Doesn't he look just like
he does?
Well, come on.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work.
The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
The science class will let you know that, right?
Here's a great backup catcher with a great name. Padres. Rick Sweet.
Oh, that's right.
Back in the 70s.
Easier to spell than the other backup catcher for the Padres, Doug Goosh.
Right.
Yes, that's us.
Gwoddsc.
Eye chart.
Crawford strikes out to end the inning.
Reggie Cleveland, Red Sox.
Doc Medich, Yankee and Mets.
Don Gollett, how good was he until he hurt his arm?
Teddy Sizemore.
Paul Popovich.
Rich Troutson. You know him?
Don Carithers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Look, Al Rabosky, the Mad Hungarian.
Oh, Hungo. Hungo.
Throw that out.
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 9-1 Philadelphia. Ben Lively is done after 7 innings. And the left-handed sidearmer Hobie Milner is on to pitch.
You know, he was selected by Cleveland in the Rule 5 draft this past offseason, but didn't stick with the team and was returned to the Phils. And now he's here in the major leagues.
So far, so good for Milner, particularly against the lefties. They're hitting just 200 against him. Nori Aoki has doubled and walked today, is 1 for 2. Well, Ben Lively had himself a night. 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 hits, including a home run, and he drove in 4. That's a night.
Yes.
It's not quite Rick Wise, but it's not bad.
I had the Rick Wise card. I was going to pull it out, but you guys kind of stole the show.
Well, the thing about Rick Wise is you can look at him from 2 points of view. One, he had the greatest game any pitcher's ever had.
Yeah.
He threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs.
Right.
Nobody else has ever done that. But he was traded for Steve Carlton.
Yes.
And, you know, Carlton only became the greatest left-hander maybe ever.
Rick was a terrific guy, too. Big cigar smoker. Smoked a big old long stogie.
It's amazing the things you remember.
That's the kind of added value that we bring you here for.
And Joe Torre. We had a clubhouse with 2 cigar smokers. Torre smoked a cigar back in the Cardinal days.
The Red Auerbach of St. Louis, I guess.
Aoki, then Cabrera and d'Arnaud for the Mets in the 8th against Milner. Here's tonight's starters, brought to you by People's United Bank. Disappointing outing for Jacob deGrom, and a great night for Ben Lively. Last time those two met, deGrom was the winner, 2-1. Different result tonight. The nice thing about the baseball cards, guys, is we have about 10,000 more of them we haven't gone through yet.
They're the gift that keeps on giving, aren't they? You know, every time we do this bit, I always want to take some home. You know what I mean? And just when you have that idle time to go through them.
Aoki hits one back to the mound, and Milner gets him one out. So one away, here's Cabrera, who has one of the 4 hits for the Mets tonight. All 4 were doubles, and Cabrera had the last one that came in the 3rd inning. Hit it down the right field line. It's actually had the lead in this game. They got a run in the 1st, but the Phillies with 3 unearned runs in the 2nd, and then a 6-run 4th to shellac deGrom tonight. Final game of this series tomorrow. Then the Reds come in for 4 games starting on Thursday night. And the Mets have their final long road trip of the season. Chicago, Atlanta, Miami. That's lined into center field, and Cabrera has his 2nd hit of the night.
Cabrera still chilling left-handed pitching.
Tonight hitting .337 from the right side of the plate.
Right-handed, he uses both gaps. It's a gap-to-gap hitter. Left-handed, he's a little more of a pull hitter, more power.
You know, Gary, you were saying before that the Phillies have had, what, 142 straight games with a right-handed pitcher. When you see the Reds come in, they're rookie pitchers, rookie starting pitchers. I think they have 4 out of 5 right now. Homer Bailey is the only veteran.
And they just called up a few guys, the Reds did, as September call-ups, including Amir Garrett. Remember, he got off to the great start for them this year. I think he had 3 or 4 terrific starts to begin the year, and then he kind of went backwards and wound up back in the minor leagues. The former St. John's basketball player.
Well, the one thing about the Reds is that when they come into town, they can hit. Their lineup is built from top to bottom with guys that can take you deep.
Well, you always knew it about Votto. I don't think you knew that Scooter Gennett was going to be what he's become this year, or that Scott Schebler was going to be that kind of power hitter.
Duval's having another good year back-to-back now.
Fly ball out to right field. Racing back Williams onto the track, and it's over his head and off the base of the wall. Cabrera will go to 3rd. d'Arnaud pulls into 2nd with his 2nd opposite field double of the night. Milner, who struggles against the right-hand hitters, has given up back-to-back hits to the righties.
Well, d'Arnaud has been using right field of late with success.
The hair is not designed to come out of the top of the helmet, is it?
It always is with him. Always got that little tufts of hair coming out.
Almost like a cowlick.
I'd like to get scissors and.
Here's Nimmo. He takes it low ball 1.
You're a sadist.
Some of us don't have that problem.
Consider yourself lucky.
And now Milner behind on the left-hand hitter, 2-0. Nimmo's 0 for 2 in a walk. He stole a base in the 6th inning.
Oh, sorry. Just showing you the rain that's supposed to be coming in tomorrow. Got my eye on that hurricane. My goodness, Irma.
Yeah, that's a big, strong hurricane that's headed for Florida.
My condo is buttoned up. It's
You know, its building is brand new. It's got all the state-of-the-art, I guess, bells and whistles. Would be the so.
Do you have the hurricane shutters?
Don't have the shutters. I have all the high-impact windows. All the building is up to code. I mean, after Florida's real big on that. So all I worry about is I'm on the 4th floor. I don't have to worry about any flooding.
Slider off the plate, the full count to Nimmo.
I've got a lot of friends, Gary, that are Floridians, and they've been through a lot, and they are leaving. They're leaving, and they've left today. They're driving, and they're not sticking around tomorrow. They're out. They're leaving.
It looks like that's probably going to hit somewhere around Florida Sunday. There's ball 4, and Nimmo's on with a walk against the lefty. And now the bases are loaded for Lagares. Fastest home to first on a walk since Pete Rose. Well, chance for Lagares to do some damage here. He's already got a double and a walk tonight, 1 for 2. They are grouped around Milner at the mound, buying some time for the bullpen. They're getting a right-hander up. Milner got Aoki out on a comebacker, but since has given up a single, a double, and a walk. And here comes the pitching coach, is Juan Nicasio, who is a kind of a strange acquisition by the Phillies the other day. Gets up. The Pirates put Nicasio on waivers. Yeah. A team claimed him. The Pirates didn't want to trade him to that team, and so they put him on release waivers, and he was signed by the Phillies. Which is really kind of weird.
Yeah, to me, the only reason that would happen is that they really like Nicasio and want him for next season, right?
Or if it's a team that was going to claim him that they were in a race with, but the Pirates aren't in the race anyway.
That's right.
So it really made no sense. And, you know, the Pirates tried to explain it as that they were doing Nicasio a favor, putting him in a more favorable situation. So I guess they have to say something. Jamie Callahan up in the Mets bullpen as Lagares takes low and away for ball 1. Cabrera at third, Darno at second, Nimmo at first with 1 out. And Lagares goes after the changeup, and it's 1-1. Will be Milner out of the University of Texas, 26th Major League appearance. Fastball away, 2-1.
Well, this is what happens when you have these specialty lefties and you ask them, because the score is 9-1, to get 3 whole outs.
Well, and to get righties out.
Exactly.
Which so far he's not been able to do.
Well, they're never asked to do it, and then when they have to do it, like, whoa.
Well, they're keeping him in here because there's another lefty on deck in Dominic Smith. And that wraps around the plate. It's 3-1.
2-1 slider, 1-0 changeup.
Yep. Well, you saw the righties were hitting almost 400 against him coming in, so he doesn't have the weapons to get them out. And that's hit hard. One hopper, though, snagged by Crawford, and he starts the 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. Well, that's a shortstop playing third base, folks, and J.P. Crawford did a nice job in his big league debut handling that hop and turning it into 2. The ball came up, and he stayed right with it to turn the Mets aside in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning. Jamie Callahan makes his Citi Field debut.
Yeah, came over, of course, in the trade for Addison Reed from the Red Sox. Pitched in Portland, Double-A, Pawtucket, and Las Vegas this year. 7 saves and 66 strikeouts in 52 innings pitched.
23-year-old from Florence, South Carolina, will face Jorge Alfaro, first man up for the Phillies in the 9th. Phillies 9 runs, 16 hits. The Mets 1 run, 6 hits as we start the 9th. Alfaro has 2 of those hits. He takes a strike. Former Met Ty Kelly is out on deck to pinch hit for the Phillies.
Addison's had a tough time with the Sox, right? CRA is high.
Yeah. Rough go against the Yankees the other night.
Yeah.
Past the mound toward the middle and backhanded by Cicchini, but he's got no play on Alfaro, who has his 3rd hit of the night, his 2nd infield hit. Not home, no problem. Watch every SNY Mets game wherever you are, and any device all season long with live streaming presented by Verizon. Just download the NBC Sports app or visit SNY.TV, your home for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Jamie Callahan has given up a leadoff hit, and now Ty Kelly back at Citi Field. 1 at bat for the Mets early this season. Mets let him go. He went on waivers to Toronto and then on to the Phillies. He's had a couple of big hits off the bench for the Phillies this year.
Callahan just straight over the top, huh?
I mean, really, you just don't see that. That's Jim Bouton over the top.
Yeah, they used to have a pitching machine we used to call Iron Mike, and it had just one single arm, pick up the ball, and right over the top.
It was a windmill.
Yeah.
Out to left field. Nimmo back a few strides. And Kelly retired, 1 out. Coming up tonight after the postgame show, it's Geico Sports Night. Red Sox being accused of electronically stealing signs.
What is with Boston and all this stuff?
They got it from Belichick, I'm sure. All that on Geico Sports Night tonight.
I'm a New Yorker tonight.
Said they used an Apple Watch.
I
don't even know what that means necessarily, how you would use that to steal signs. John Farrell's comment was, well, of course we're trying to steal signs. Everybody does. But if I knew they were using electronics, I would have put an end to it right away.
I can barely use my phone, so.
Cesar Hernandez, 6th plate appearance of the game. He's singled and walked, 1 for 4. And he takes it off the plate, 2-0.
Greg, are you coming to this? Whoops, excuse me.
Well, you might as well just share it. Might as well just share it with the class.
I forgot to press the talk back button.
Deep to center. Lagares gets turned around and finds it, and he makes the catch. So there are 2 buttons on each of these boxes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The red one is a cough button. And the white one allows you to communicate with the truck.
Yeah.
And I don't think Keith pushed either button.
Mine's right here, and I forgot to do it. I just.
Well,
I blurted out.
What's the question? Is it allowed on
I'm
TV?
asking Greg if he's going to that meeting at MLB on Thursday.
Oh, we're going to get to see the replay facility.
Yes, we are. Where is it? Where are we going?
In Chelsea.
Okay. I need an address.
75 9th Avenue between 15th and 16th Street.
Don't.
What?
Our fans will be there.
Don't know when we're going to be there unless you blurt out the time. We don't have that many fans. Don't worry about it.
I'm just glad it was an innocent question he was asking.
Yes.
Because that could have gone a whole different way.
No, I have a guardian angel.
Yes, you do. Freddie Galvis has been on base 4 times tonight. 3 singles and a walk. And Callahan gets it over 1 and 2. 17 hits for the Phillies. 3rd most the Mets have given up this year. They gave up 23 against the Nationals back on April 30th, which was the red letter day for the Mets this season. Galvis down on strikes. Callahan has a strikeout. And that ends the inning. We head for the bottom of the ninth. Mercifully, 9-1. Pinto in to pitch the bottom of the ninth, trying to close things out for the Phillies. Up close and personal.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Like that.
SNY's Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Well, lots of eights there for Mr. Pinto. Is in his fourth stint with the Phillies this year. Back and forth from Lehigh Valley.
23-year-old from Venezuela, trying to get the final 3 outs of the night. Dominic Smith is 0 for 3, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Smith was robbed of a hit his last time up. A diving play by Cesar Hernandez on a ball up the middle. Gavin Cecchini on deck, and then Matt Reynolds for the Mets in the last of the ninth. And a good changeup by Pinto. 0-2. Tomorrow, Matt Harvey goes for the Mets on 3 days rest. Nick Pivetta for the Phillies in what presumably will be the rubber game of the series. Grounded to the right side, and Hernandez throws out Smith, 1 away. Story this night, the performance of the Phillies' Ben Lively on the mound and at the plate. Lively threw 7 strong innings and drove in 4 of the Phillies' 9 runs with a single and a home run. Here's Gavin Cecchini, who's 0 for 3, struck out and popped up twice. Cubs lost tonight in Pittsburgh, but the Brewers are trailing 7-3 in the 8th in Cincinnati, so they may not be able to take advantage. Milwaukee 3.5 behind when the day began in the National League Central. And Milwaukee a game and a half off the pace of the wild card behind the Rockies, who are up 2-1 on the Giants in the 5th. Milwaukee got within a half game before yesterday. That's drilled down the left field line with foul.
The most unlikely of sources, Billy Hamilton with a walk-off home run.
Yeah, with all the home runs in that lineup, that's not the guy you expect.
Cleveland's trying to win again tonight.
Cleveland going for their 13th in a row. And they're up 6-4 on the White Sox in the 6th. Facing Mike Pelfrey. Cicchini stays alive. Big night for the Houston Astros in Seattle tonight. It's Justin Verlander's Astros debut.
Well, good ballpark to do it in. Seattle, big ballpark, except they got some thunder in some bats there. Cruz and Seager, Cano.
1-2. And Cicchini bounces one on the left side. Crawford ranging wide. Nice. Looks like he's played third base his whole life.
This kid can play a little bit.
He's an athlete, that's for sure. Very nice play on the run, the throw on the run.
6 minor league games at third after playing his whole life at short. And he's made a couple of really nice plays.
Nice range to his left.
Well, that's a thing of beauty.
Very nice.
He's got his first big league hit tonight. J.P. Crawford, first game in what the Phillies hope will be a tremendous career. Mets are down to their final out. Matt Reynolds up for the second time. Flied out as a pinch hitter in the 7th. Stayed in the game as shortstop. Kevin Plawecki is out on deck. He'll bat for the pitcher if Reynolds keeps it going. Chopped on the ground, and Crawford makes the short hop pick, and that'll do it. 1-2-3 ninth inning for Ricardo Pinto. Ben Lively with a tremendous night. 7 strong innings, 4 RBIs. Jacob deGrom with the second shortest outing of his career as the Phillies even up the series, winning 9-1.
Well, here's the play that ends the ball game right here. Makes the move to come in. Okay, I'm going to get the short hop. Very nicely done. He's already showed me some sure hands. He might need to be over at shortstop, or why not leave him at third the way he's played so far?
There's a game summary presented by Verizon. deGrom, second straight time he's tried for his 15th win and come up short. Career high 9 runs allowed. Lively was the story for the Phillies as they beat the Mets for just the 5th time in 15 tries this year. 9-1 the final score. The Phillies win this one. We'll come back with more from Citi Field in just a moment.